You're in the podcast?
It is indeed.
Yeah.
All right, now we got everybody. Cool. All right. Well, it's a new episode of Sports Harder coming at you live on this Wednesday evening, a couple days before the special Christmas holiday. I am your host, Maddie Lukewarm Ice, and always my co-host, who is trying to do something. It looks like again. Oh, well, that's all right, man. It's all good. We've done it before without that. It's all good. we don't
Let's
need
do it
to
without it
necessarily
tonight.
have them beforehand. It's
I
good.
don't care. Let's do it without them.
Without them, there you go. Well, like I was saying, Chris the Gorilla Binder.
What's up, guys?
in full form tonight, it seems. He's just ready to go. He's ready to throw down. Haven't even started yet. 2 minutes in. Two minutes in, ready to throw down. And then of course we got Larry back with us as well to join in and continue the pursuit of trying to catch up to us on our NFL picks of the week.
I got 3 weeks so far. I'm at 24 right in 3 weeks. I keep going.
Didn't do as well as the first time when you did it, but that's all right. That happens, these things happen.
No, let's give you credit. That's 24 in 2 weeks, bud.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's 12 out of 16 games a week. Like, that's pretty damn good.
So I just went through my other pick 'em. I'm 3 weeks in my other pick 'em, and I got 24 right.
Hey, there you go. Well, we appreciate you joining us again. As always, we like having people come on and be guests and give their input other than just from a Rams and a Raiders aspect of things, or even just from different aspects in general.
Donkeys.
So it's always good to have those different perspectives. But before we start with we want to wish everyone a happy holiday and a safe holiday as it's coming up here. I'm gonna start by saying what I'm looking forward to most, and then you guys can kind of say as well. I'm looking forward to my daughter Zoe, her first Christmas. So it's gonna be good, and we're gonna start her off early and have her make sugar cookies for Santa and leave a Dr. Pepper out for him. So we're
Coke, dude.
No, Dr. Pepper.
Drinks Coke.
Santa likes Dr. Pepper. So
it's always been Coke.
So
I guess
I'm just going by what Santa told me.
He likes Coke and Mercedes.
Mercedes. So I'm definitely excited for, even though she's only 8 months, for Zoe's first Christmas. So Chris, what are you looking forward to this year?
I'm actually starting a tradition this year. Something that my wife's dad does for his daughters. He actually makes jewelry for them every year. Makes them a necklace or earrings every single year. So I'm not that talented. So I'm actually buying my daughter jewelry. So I got her these really cute sapphire and diamond earrings for her. And I'm going to do every year, I'm going to get her jewelry for Christmas.
Awesome. That's a cool tradition to start. I like that.
Yeah. What's that?
Larry?
Oh, dude. So pumped I don't have to shovel snow anymore. Life is just fantastic. That's what I'm thankful for.
So it snows tomorrow.
Last 4 years of my life. That's what I had to do. Every time it snowed, I was in work. I was, Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day, New Year's Day, always having to work, shoveling snow. So thankful for. I actually get to spend a whole day with my kids. It's gonna be kind of nice. And my wife. So she'll
include her in there.
Throw her in there.
Yeah. That'll
Awesome.
be fun. All the family's coming over. It's gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to it all of Christmas. So
awesome. Well, that's good, and I like the whole traditions thing. I try to do it for Thanksgiving and Christmas and a bunch of different special occasions and holidays. So I like traditions. I like doing those.
Tradition.
'Tis tradition. All right. So let's get right into things. Larry kind of mentioned before off the podcast, but we'll mention it now. Let's start with some fantasy football, and we'll shout out to the people in my fantasy football league, the Sports Harder Podcast League. Chris, I wouldn't be flexing your muscles because your team did crap, but you luckily had a bye week, so you didn't have to worry.
I also didn't put people in. I didn't really give a shit.
All
Like,
right.
I didn't
That's
have to
fair
play
enough.
around with my. Like,
That's
if you
fair
look, my bench scored like freaking 30 points. I didn't care.
All
Like,
right. All right.
if I would have played with my lineup, like, it would have been a little better. But Nico's going down. You ain't getting the championship 3 years in a row, buddy.
So
It's
yeah,
mine.
like Chris said, it's going to be Chris versus Team Kablamo, Nico, and he's trying to go for a third straight. He somehow always sneaks it out. He barely got by your brother-in-law. So your brother-in-law put up a good fight. And
I was
then
hoping to play him because I've already beat him this year. And then I hope to play Mel next round because I already beat her this year, too.
well, we'll see because Paul, the Guinness World Record holder for the most Funko Pops, will be facing up against my wife, Melanie the Felony, and she's got the she's got the her fantasy football team, the Lobster Wranglers. So it'll be interesting to see who will get into the finals. It potentially could be a rematch of last year's final, which was Melanie and Nico. So it potentially could be a rematch of the final from last year. So we'll see who's gonna come out on top and who's gonna be able to take the win. So
I prefer to
Larry,
see number 1 and number 2. I want to face Paul.
uh,
That's who I want to face. Number 1 versus number 2.
well, we'll see how good Paul's team didn't do very good either this week, so it was a good thing he was on a bye as well. So we'll see how that goes. I ended up beating my former co-host Brian Boo Boo Barr, so I beat him in the losers bracket.
Ooh.
I'm gonna make sure that I win the losers bracket.
Hey,
And
dude.
take what, like 5th place?
Yeah, take like 4th place. I think I can get 4th place, 4th or 5th. No, 5th. Yeah, 5th. So, but talking about lineups and how what people can look out for with the Bucks having a lot of offensive weapons go down. So, what is your guys' suggestions for some people that have a lot of Bucks players right now that are either out for the season or doubtful? Because Chris Godwin was listed as being out for the rest of the regular season, but now he's just out for the season altogether. So Chris, who are you trying to pick up off the waiver wire to help these people out with their lineups, especially with the playoffs and fantasy football happening right now?
Well, I put a waiver claim in for somebody, and because I'm the last one on the waiver, somebody in the losers bracket stole him from me.
Oh,
So, but Rashad Penny from the Seahawks, the running back, like the last 3 weeks, the dude's put up like 18 points a game. Like he's been pretty solid, you know. So if he's cleared waivers in your league, pick him up. Like he's a solid pickup. People don't think about him because the Seahawks are losing, but I mean he's putting up 100 yards and a touchdown every game.
yeah, Larry, who would you suggest to replace for some of these fallen Buccaneer players?
You know, there's on the Bucks squad, you know, you got Scotty Miller out there who's going to have to step up, which he played really well in the playoffs last year, kind of made a little bit of a name for himself. I think him coming into going to have to basically step up in the place of Chris Godwin, which is big shoes to fill. The guy's been having a great season. You know, I think he's number 2. He's in the top 3 of yards right now in the NFL. He goes down, he's out. I'd say Scotty Miller would be a good pickup just because of that. Or Rashad Penny. I like what Chris was saying with Rashad Penny. He's averaging, you know, he gets 12 carries a game. He's over 100 yards and a touchdown, which in the NFL these days, getting 12 carries being over 100, you know, you're averaging pretty well in that aspect. So there's a few people, with those two. I know it's tough right now because there's a lot of people like in your league for, the guy in the losers bracket decided he needed all these players. If you're out of it, you're out of it. I get not trying to be last place, but at the same time, you got people who are actually competing. And in my league, we compete for money. So having these people, you should be able to make that move. But those would be my top two to go after in fantasy.
I like it. My suggestion would be because right now Leonard Fournette is listed as doubtful and he might not be playing. To pick up the Bucks backup running back, I think his name is Ronald Jones the second.
Ronald Jones the third.
The
or
third.
Giovanni Bernard.
Yeah, Gio could be good too.
Yeah, Jones has been doing really good when Fournette's been out because he's had a couple times that he's kind of been injured and been out. And I picked him up and he's done really good for me. So I would suggest picking him up again. Kind of keep him on your bench and just watch to see if Fournette does end up playing or not. I would definitely pick him up for sure. And then the other one I would say would be the Eagles tight end.
Dallas
Goedert.
Goddard, yeah. Him and Hurts have been just hooking up here lately. The past 3 weeks, he's scored 15 fantasy points a game.
Hooking up.
Yeah.
Again, not child friendly.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would suggest picking him up as well, especially with them trying to make a wild card push right now. Definitely pick him up. They're going to be using him a lot.
With talking about injuries, Joe Mixon went down last week in the Bronco game. I think Mixon's going to be missing a couple of weeks. Their backup on Cincinnati, that Perrine, whatever his name is, he might be a good
Zach Perrine.
Yeah. I think he might be good. I mean, Gabriel Davis in Buffalo's been he's been stepping up. There's some sleepers, but with people with Buffalo, you don't know what's going to happen. There's so many weapons on that squad. Josh Allen could run. You got Devin Singletary back there.
Cole Beasley.
Yeah, Cole Beasley, Stephon Diggs. That one might be a little bit scarier to take, but I would probably for sure take Cincinnati's backup. Some green guy, I think, because Cincinnati likes to run the ball. So I think that'd be a good waiver pickup as well.
Yeah, definitely. And another person that's kind of been flying under the radar because, again, kind of like Chris said, they're on a crappy team. But Josh Reynolds on the Lions, he was teammates with Goff when they were on the Rams together, and they had a good connection when they were playing together on the Rams. So I would definitely think about, putting him in as a flex or someone like that because him and Goff have been getting some good yards and touchdowns.
Amon-Ra St. Brown too would be a good pickup from the Lions as well.
See, I wouldn't pick anybody up. I would not pick any receivers up for them from the Lions, just because Jared Goff is so inconsistent. You have no idea if he's actually going to have a 400-yard game or a 50-yard game.
I agree to a certain point, but at the same time, that's why you get somebody on the Lions, because one, they're going to be down in points more often than not. They're going to be throwing the ball. So you're going to be getting yards. It might not be the best yards. You might just pick it up at garbage time, but you're still going after a team that has to consistently throw the football. And unless you play the Cardinals, then apparently you can just do whatever you feel is necessary.
So just to throw that out there really quick, the Lions beating the Cardinals, they lost the number 1 draft pick by doing that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! Of course. So yeah, we can just do a nice smooth transition into some of the Sunday games with you bringing that up. So of course the big one was the Lions upsetting the Cardinals, and I went back and
just upset them. They didn't just upset them; they smacked the shit out of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And it was one of those things where I went back to listen to our picks, and it was just funny how all of us picked the Cardinals, and then Chris was like, "I'm gonna be so pissed if the Cardinals lose."
Right?
He's like, "I'm gonna be so mad because you locked it too. That was your lock, and you didn't get it because of that."
Well, I mean, You're not wrong for picking it as a lock. I don't know what happened to Arizona. They just I lost fantasy because of James Conner and Kyler Murray basically had no game. So
Yeah.
it was very upsetting.
Their spirits were crushed after losing to the Rams.
And now the NFC, dude, you're not wrong though. The NFC is the NFL in a whole is crazy right now, and it's because they added this extra game onto the league. And well, they technically didn't add an extra game. They made it, there's 17 games instead of 16. But it's crazy to see half 22 teams are fighting for a playoff spot right now. Out of 32 teams, you got 20, over half are competing for playoff spots. The NFC is, you don't know who's winning the NFC. I mean, it was the Cardinals for a while, then Aaron Rodgers and discount double checking everybody. So.
And yelling at the Bears, I fucking own you.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Right?
Yeah, that is very true. So a lot of the games being moved because of COVID stuff happening. One of them being the Raiders-Browns game, and the Raiders were able to come back there at the end and sneak in a win with a last-second field goal. It kind of felt like
I'm
it
gonna
was
throw
one of
that
those
up. That was
games.
not. I'm gonna throw this out there. That was not like Derek Carr came back. Like after he threw that pick, he walked out or he walked over to the sideline and he told the defense. He told Max Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue, and Divine Diablo. He's like, if you guys get me the ball back, we'll win this game.
Well, I mean, that's what happened. So.
That was just a horrible game. It was so bad on all sides. It was like watching the Bronco game. It just sucked. The Raiders look like ass that whole game, and they should have destroyed Cleveland. It shouldn't have even been that close of a game. That was a horrible, horrible showing. I don't know what's going on with Vegas, and I know they've had their problems, but they should not be in close games with the teams they've played. If they play like that against Denver, they might lose.
Might?
Yeah.
Might? No.
Drew Lock is playing, dude. Who knows what's going to happen?
Oh, shit. Okay.
So let's put it this way. Drew Lock, his last two games against the Oakland Raiders. First game, he threw 4 picks, 1 touchdown for 50+ yards, 153-ish. Second game, he threw 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for 300 yards. You just don't know what you're getting with Luck. And that's the thing is if Nick Mullins coming off of a third-string quarterback is coming in and doing what he did against Oakland, Oakland probably might not win that game. Or Las Vegas, whoever the hell they are, whatever the city.
The Raiders. Just say Raiders.
Gators.
No. All right, donkey. No, for real though, like I agree with that, but one aspect, like Nick Mullins is an underrated quarterback.
He should be a starter.
He should be. He's good. He's actually a damn good quarterback. Every game that he has played in, he's been close in. He's either won or he's been really close. And I mean, his overall QBR is up there. He's like in the 70s overall QBR. Like, he's not a bad quarterback. I don't understand why he gets this bad rap. And he's like a third string. He was a third string on the 49ers. And then he's a third string on the Browns. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I think he's better than what's his stupid face on the Browns?
Baker?
No, not Baker.
Oh, Case Keenum?
Yeah, I think he's better than Case Keenum. I think he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo. I'll throw that out there. I think he's a better game manager than Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo gets hit and he gets lost. He's Tom Brady 2.0.
Well, the problem with Garoppolo is if Garoppolo stays healthy, the Niners they're a good team. That's the big thing with the Niners right now is Garoppolo. You don't know if he gets hurt, if he gets hit, is he getting hurt? But Nick Mullins came in. He played very well. I think he went 2-1 as a starter in San Francisco.
Yeah, and that was with a perfect rating against the Raiders. He had a perfect rating against the Raiders. He threw for like 350 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Like, I mean, he was money.
You put him on Minnesota. Minnesota's a playoff team. Minnesota would be one of the best teams in the NFC.
Hell, you put him on the Lions, they'd be a better team.
That might be a stretch.
No, because Goff sucks.
Yeah, Goff was good 1 year, got paid a bunch of money to suck. He's like Matt Ryan.
And Derek Carr.
You had one good year with Goff, right? Like you had one good year. Goff has been decent, but look at the weapons he's had his entire career in Detroit or in St. Louis or where the fuck teams
LA.
at? Angeles.
LA.
Whatever. Pick a city, man. That's all I'm saying. He had great. Todd Gurley was on that team. Cooper Kupp was there. Brandon Cooks was there. They had a strong team. He just could never get over that edge. And you're really seeing that now with him in Detroit, and you're seeing the difference of Matt Stafford. We talked about this, I think, the first podcast I was on. Stafford is, in my opinion, arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And that might be my opinion. But the thing is look what he did on Detroit with Calvin Johnson versus what he's doing in LA with the plethora of receivers and offensive talent. I mean, Sony Michel came into his own. Stafford's balling out, and that's what the Rams are missing is somebody who can make those passes, somebody who can be consistent game in, game out. And that's why I think the Rams are where they're at. But you put Nick Mullins on Washington, they beat the Packers at least once. I'll tell you that. Or on Minnesota. Nick Mullins goes to Minnesota, they beat the Packers one time.
Yeah, that's probably very, very likely.
Well, I mean, without Nick Mullins, they beat the Packers once this year.
That is true as well.
That wasn't Kirk Cousins, though. Like, Kirk Cousins was getting the ball to Justin Jefferson, but that dude was making shit happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing that we'll talk about is the Pro Bowl selection. Obviously, has been revealed on the people that have been selected for the Pro Bowl.
It was only the pre-selection. It's not the full Pro Bowl hasn't been selected yet. Full rosters aren't out yet.
Fair enough. Well, a majority of like the first teamers, like the starters, have been announced, and so just to go over some of the names that are in that list, obviously that they announced. The cover, my team, Aaron Donald obviously made it. Jalen Ramsey did. Cooper Kupp. The thing with Cooper Kupp to point out, he now has the franchise record for the most receptions by a Ram. He's at 120 and counting. So he broke Isaac Bruce's and Torrey Holt's record of Torrey Holt had 117, Isaac Bruce had 119. So basically he now has that record and counting. And he scored 2 touchdowns in the Seahawks game to extend his touchdown lead overall. So trying to still secure the Triple Crown, as we had mentioned before. One thing I want to ask you guys with Cooper Kupp, being voted to the Pro Bowl as like a starter, first team. All these people are being talked about: Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Rodgers, like Tom Brady there for a while, not recently because of the Saints game. But those guys in the MVP conversation, why can't Cooper Kupp be in that conversation as well?
Biggest thing is not why can't he, why isn't he? I mean, like you said, he's got touchdown record lead, receptions in his career in a season, and he's only done it in 15 weeks. So even with the 16-game season, he's still breaking the record, and he's still got 2 more games to go off. And because the Rams can't sit their players, 3 more games.
If he gets 10 receptions per game in the next 3 games, he breaks Michael Thomas's record for most receptions in a single season. He needs 30 receptions. Michael Thomas had 149. If he can pull in 10 receptions in each of the 3 games, he's the the best receiver of all time at that point.
Well, not of all time, but yes, I see what you're saying.
He has the most receptions of all time. Let's just say he's the greatest white receiver of all time.
It's about all he's got going for him. We're ginger bearded, so we're kind of related. We talk all the time on the regular. I got Cooper Kupp's number on speed dial. I'll let him know you said that, obviously. He's not in the conversation, and I think it's because he's a wide receiver. Even Jonathan Taylor's been getting mentions, but does he actually have a shot at winning it? Because if Jonathan Taylor, he's had this a better season than when Adrian Peterson won it, better season than Deion Sanders when he won it. So those are the last two running backs, I believe, in the last 30, 40 years that have actually won MVP. And I think Adrian Peterson was the last one to do it. And so Jonathan Taylor's getting the mention because of what he's able to do. If he keeps playing the way he's playing, I think he should be a top mention, if not the top mention. But with Cooper Kupp, I mean, if he keeps making his runs and, if he breaks the record, he should be the MVP just simply because of what he's done this season. He's leading in every category that really matters except for a Super Bowl ring. But no, I think Cooper Kupp is this year, hands down, is the number one best receiver in the NFL. There's nobody close to him. You could make the case for Davante Adams. It's just they're just not the same. Cooper Kupp is solely being depended on and making amazing catches. It's what he does.
Well, and the thing is, the Rams have other receivers too. Like they had Robert Woods, who was money. They have Van Jefferson, who's sporadic at best. But then they go out and pick up OBJ, and Cooper Kupp's still getting his shit done. Like even with OBJ on the field, even with Van Jefferson on the field, even with Sony Michel coming into his own and being able to run the ball really well, and then Henderson there as well. Like Cooper Kupp's still getting his stuff. The greatest thing to me is this year, Cooper Kupp's had 2 drops. 2. All year. DeAndre Hopkins has more drops this year than Cooper Kupp. Davante Adams has more drops than Cooper Kupp. Like, Cooper Kupp he's the real deal. And we even talked about that when he very first came in the league. I'm like, who the hell is this Cooper Kupp guy? And you were like, I have no idea. And then, like, his first year, the dude goes off, and we're like, all right, he's going to be good. He's fast. And the dude is insanely smart. Did you watch that interview after the game? Where he was like, yeah, I saw the defense. They were in this formation, and I saw the shift this way. It made this formation this way, and then he shifted this way, and he did this. So I knew if I cut this way and then I cut back this way, I'd be open because I'd only have the single high safety on me. The corner would step in as a linebacker. Like, I mean, he broke it down, and like the girl that was interviewing was like, what?
Yeah, I saw that interview. It was like nuts, like how smart he is before the play even happens. Like before they even hike the ball. Like he knows exactly where he needs to be and what's going to happen. And one thing that you guys didn't point out that I'd like to point out is I think he's one of the best yards after catch receiver I've ever seen. Like if you get the ball in his hands, he can make it happen. It's not like he's catching all these deep passes all the time, like a Randy Moss or like a Julio or whatever, where it was just, throw it up to him. I mean, yeah, he does that sometimes. But a lot of these are like slant routes. Like the Seahawks game, he caught like a slant route, made like 4 guys miss and ran it into the end zone. Like he is very elusive, and I feel like he's one of the best at it that I've seen in a long time.
Him and Davante Adams are probably the 2 best at that. And so I just have to throw this out there. Davante Adams' first year in the league, like he was the number 3 receiver on the Packers behind Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb. And I watched him drop the ball probably about 40% of the time. Like Rodgers would put it in his hand and he'd drop it. And I was like, look, if this dude doesn't figure out what's going on, like I told Jeanette this because she's a huge Packers fan. I was like, if he doesn't figure it out, he's going to be out of the league. Like, he's going to be a practice squad guy. And then he figured it out the next year and just became a dominant, like, receiver. Cooper Kupp figured it out his first year with Jared Goff, of all quarterbacks.
Well, that's why Goff looks so good, is because Cooper Kupp, you get him the ball. You said he's elusive. He's like Wes Welker. You know, that's why Wes Welker was so dominant in the league with being so small, is you get him the ball, a 3-yard pass, he's getting 10, 12, 15 yards out of it. And that's where Cooper Kupp comes in handy, is if you want to throw that 50-50 ball, he's got it. You want to throw him, you know, slants, posts, it doesn't matter, screens, he can make – if you give him the ball, he just makes things happen for you, and it's usually always positive. So.
Yeah, so just wanted to do a quick shout out for him on my team when it comes to that, and some of the notable players that were voted on the Pro Bowl. Are there some notable ones that you wanted to point out for the Raiders?
Max Crosby. Like, his interview after the game, he got the nod for Pro Bowl, found out after the game against the Browns. And he did a press conference and everything, and he, big ass dude that he is, broke down crying. He said, 2 years ago I was in rehab and now I'm a fucking Pro Bowler. Like, he has put in the work. He is one of the most dominant pass rushers in the game. You know, the Raiders, for how shitty their defense actually is, they held Nick Chubb to 70 yards. Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs in the game, they held him to 70 yards. I think it was like 74 or something like that, but it is what it is. But Yannick Ngakoue and Max Crosby have led the league since week 1 in quarterback pressures and quarterback hits as a duo over everybody. The rest of the defense sucks. But I really like seeing Denzel Perryman. Like, he was really good with the Chargers, but he was always injury prone. Then he went to the Panthers and he was injury prone. Then he comes to the Raiders on a trade for a 4th-round pick. That's all the Raiders gave up, was a 4th-round pick, and the dude's going to the Pro Bowl. He leads the league in tackles. Like, Denzel Perryman is the beast finally that we all thought he was when he was with the Chargers. And I love seeing it. So I love seeing that the Raiders defense is actually getting nods to the Pro Bowl, even though Derek Carr's like the number 2 quarterback, number 3 quarterback in the league right now as far as yards go and QBR goes. But he's not going to get the nod because it's Patrick Mahomes and freaking Lamar Jackson and Justin Allen.
Herbert.
And
Justin Herbert got the start.
Yeah. Justin Herbert got the start. The backups are Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Like,
Yeah.
Derek Carr's and he's competing against those guys. Like, they're big names. He's not. Even though he's thrown for 4,000 yards 3 years in a row, and only 2 other quarterbacks have ever done that.
Yeah.
But we don't have a winning record. We're 7-7.
Yeah.
It sucks. When we give up 30 points a game, it's hard to come back from.
Yeah, I don't know if your microphone is making that sound or what, or if it's Larry's.
It's Larry. You can see the little green microphone on his. He's got the phone hooked up too loud.
I'm not touching nothing.
No, we're getting feedback from your phone on Anchor.
Really?
I think so.
Sometimes, yeah, if you don't turn it down, then it'll
it's all the way down.
It's
weird.
I don't know then. Lame. All right, well.
At least you guys got Pro Bowl players, so.
Well, I was going to ask.
You guys didn't. Wait, Tim Patrick didn't get a nod?
Tim Patrick didn't. The big surprise, the offense wasn't a surprise. The defense was. Justin Simmons.
Patrick Surtain?
Yeah, he didn't. I don't know why. He's been having a phenomenal season. Against Jamar Chase, he wasn't targeted for 3 straight quarters. I think Burrow didn't even look his way for 3 quarters. I think
because Surtain's a beast.
He was like 2 for 10 or something. Like 10 targets and like only 2 receptions. Justin Simmons didn't get a nod. Pat Surtain. I thought Kenny Young was going to get a mention just because of what he did in LA and what he's been doing here. There's been a lot of snubs this year. Matt Stafford, for one, should definitely be a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, I think he's number 2 and number 3. So the 1, 2, and 3 right now for yards are Brady, Carr, and Matt Stafford.
I thought you were gonna say that he was like the third starter on the Pro Bowl, but no, it was Aaron Rodgers got the first, and then Tom Brady, and then Kyler Murray. Which, yeah.
Kyler Murray hasn't even hit 3,000 yards this year.
No, they're doing it just because of how well they started, how well they've been playing. That's the only reason. I think Matthew Stafford should have gotten it instead of Kyler Murray.
Absolutely.
So a little bit of a snub on the Rams for that part.
Yeah, not happy.
Yeah, and then so Broncos not getting any, so that's especially on the defense, like you were saying. I definitely agree with that. Their defense has been probably their shining moment.
We're wasting it. Our defense is being wasted.
Yeah.
And we have as of last week, we have the number 3 ranked defense in the NFL. And you're gonna tell me none of these guys get a nod? It was just wild.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that I can totally understand that. That's definitely weird when it comes to that, but I think from what I saw, the Colts had the most. They had like 7 Pro Bowlers, and then I can't remember. There was another team. Was it the Packers that had the most after that?
All I know is I can't believe they got 7 players.
The Colts
playing like 7 players? There should go Jonathan Taylor. Where's the other 7?
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor got the start for running back.
I could see their defensive end. What the hell is his name?
Quentin Nelson got in. Brian Kelly got in, the center.
To the offensive line.
DeForest Buckner got in.
DeForest Buckner. I could see him going in.
Denarius Leonard got in.
What?
Jesus. Yeah, Denarius Leonard, he leads the league in forced fumbles.
Oh.
Kenny Moore got in. Luke Rhodes got in.
It's been great.
Yeah, a lot of defensive players and then their offensive line.
Oh, hey, I just want to throw this out here. I know you're looking for a name to call me. Just call me L'America if you want.
L'America?
Yeah, it's Larry's America. So there you go. I got it tatted on my arm and everything. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No, you don't. Oh my gosh.
Where my camera's at. Yeah.
Oh shoot.
You might have seen my nipple. Go ahead and just whatever, Venmo me. About $3 we'll call it good.
We can't hear you on
Yeah, what's his mic?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So really funny about the whole like gorilla nickname. I got it from my daughter because I was making meatloaf one time and she said I have gorilla hands because of the way that I was kneading the meatloaf. So it's just been gorilla since. So this is what she actually got me. She gave me an early Christmas present.
Nice.
I can see the resemblance.
A little bit, right? This is my dead uncle. Terrible.
Oh, gosh.
Terrible.
Yeah, Matty Lukewarm Ice didn't really come from anything other than people would call me Matty Ice, and I was like, well, Matt Ryan already had that, so I can't really take that, and so I said that I was lukewarm. It was lukewarm ice instead of Matty Ice, So
didn't Colt start calling you that with bowling? He's like Matty Ice.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people called me that. Yeah.
So you're the anchor bowler on the team, then, right?
I was with Chris, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, I was the leadoff. He was the anchor. I met him through my mom. So really funny, just going off the sports podcast here a little bit. He worked with my
Diving
mom
into our personal lives here.
a little bit, but he worked with my mom, and I set up a team to bowl, and I couldn't get anybody to bowl. So my mom's like, "Hey, how about this guy? He carries like a 220 average. Cool, bring him in." Comes in, he's a 190 average. I'm like, "What the fuck?" They said he was a 220. Like I put him as the anchor and everything, and I was like,
bro, gotta get them points.
I know, but she's like, he's a 220 and he's like a 190. I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Better than me.
Well, I'm a little rusty. I got to get back into it again this coming year. So I'll be playing next year, which will be fun. I've missed it a lot, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. All right. Well, that is, unless anybody else has something for the Pro Bowl. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Tom
I'm gonna
Brady
boycott it.
record setting. That should be something that should be mentioned. As much as we all hate Tom Brady, but he has
It's 15.
for most Pro Bowls to ever be selected to.
Isn't it like 16?
15.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah. So
Well,
yeah.
that happens when you play for 22 years. Why didn't he go to 22? Guess what? He's not the GOAT.
We can have that discussion.
Oh gosh, no.
He's no Dan Marino.
I don't want to get into that. Do not want to get into that. That could be a whole podcast in itself, a whole episode.
Next week, turn into why Tom Brady is not the GOAT. Look, don't name it. So, still that out there.
He's got the longevity. That's what he's got. It's same with LeBron over Jordan is longevity. That's it.
Oh man. So the next
Just saying.
podcast here gonna be LeBron
Who's the
versus
GOAT
Jordan.
in each sport?
Bo Jackson, dude, obviously, or Tim Tebow.
I think if Bo Jackson didn't break his hip, honestly would have been the best running back of all time.
If Bo Jackson considered actually played in the NFL full time, he would have been the greatest running back.
Yeah, probably.
He was a huge. Baseball was his main sport, and if he would have stayed in football, he would have done some shit.
That's very true.
Let's get off this Raider bandwagon stuff. Let's talk about the Jets and what they're doing with Joe Namath out there as quarterback.
Well, the next thing that I wanted to get into is the playoff picture, especially with 3 weeks to go. I kind of want to see from each of us who we feel that is on the outside that will be in, or maybe some that are on, that are in that might fall out. So let's look at the AFC to begin with. So as of right now, the number one seed for each conference are the only ones that get buys because of how the playoffs are done now, adding an extra wild card. So as of right now, the Chiefs are number one seed at 10-4. The Patriots number 2 at 9-5. The Titans barely hanging on 9-5 as the third seed. Number 4 is the Bengals at 8-6. Which, side note, I said that they would take the division this year. Number 5, the Colts at 8-6. The Chargers, number 6 at 8-6, and the Bills slowly descending almost out at 8-6 at number 7. And so right now there's a bunch of teams on the bubble. The Ravens, the Steelers, the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Browns, and the Broncos. So let's start off with Larry this time. Is there a team that you see that's on the outside that could take over one of these spots that another team would drop out of?
I got 2 teams on the bubble that I think could come in, and honestly, so if the Ravens beat the Bengals, that switches up the whole AFC North. I think the Ravens now take over. They go in, the Bengals would come out on the bubble. But the Dolphins have been on a tear. They're playing the Saints this week. Let's be honest, the Saints may have been able to slow down Tom Brady, but I don't think they're going to be able to slow down the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are going to take that. I think the Dolphins have a really good shot of making it in the playoffs this year. I would like to say my team, but we play the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Chiefs. So it's going to probably be a no for me, dog.
But you see the Ravens and the Dolphins probably getting in.
I think the Ravens get in for sure. I think the Bills come out. I think the Bills and the Bengals right now have the
Both
hardest
fall out.
next game. Yeah. The Bills, just because the Patriots they're playing good football over there. They have I think the number 2 defense right now in the NFL. They're playing really good on all sides of the ball. I think that the Bills are probably this and they're going to be knocked out.
Alrighty, fair enough. Chris, who do you see maybe coming in, if any, and teams have fallen out?
I actually see the Bills and the Chargers falling out. I don't see the Raiders or the Broncos going in. Even if either team wins out, they're in. But they gotta play some tough teams. Like you said, the Broncos got the Chargers, Raiders, and the Chiefs. Like they're all division games. They're gonna be tough games. And I hate to say it, I think if the Raiders actually show up, they can beat the Broncos. And they can beat the Chargers. But I don't think they're beating the Colts. I really don't see them beating the Colts. And they have to win out to actually go. So that one's done for. The Colts, I think, are going to stay in. I think they're legit. I think they're actually a really good team as long as Carson Wentz can stay healthy. And he's actually got a strong offensive line. Like half the offensive line is in the freaking Pro Bowl. Those guys are good. They're going to keep him healthy as long as he doesn't do his backwards passes. Dumbass. But I agree. I see the Dolphins jumping up and in. I see the Bengals staying, but I think they're going to be the last wild card because the Ravens are going to take that division. I know I picked the Browns early in the season, but they've kind of ate shit and they've sucked all year. Like, I mean, if they had beat the Raiders, they're first place in the division. But because they lost to the Raiders, they're last place in the division.
Yep.
Like that's how close that division is. But yeah, I mean, I could see the Bengals dropping to probably the 6 or 7 seed. Chargers going out because they're going to lose to both the Broncos and the Raiders. So then that's going to hurt them.
Do you really think the Chargers are going to lose to the Broncos?
I think so.
All right.
I think the Broncos.
Vote of confidence.
I think the Broncos have a close game against the Raiders. I think they come out, they blow out the Chargers, and then they just get blown out by the Chiefs. Like, yeah.
Fair enough. I think, to be honest, the way the Colts are playing right now, because the Colts are in the same division as the Titans, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like the way the Colts are playing right now, they're going to take it from the Titans. Like, I feel like they'll move up and have a higher ranked seed over the Titans. I think the Titans
going to fall out.
No, they'll still stay in. But I'm just saying, like, instead of Titans being number 3, the Colts will be number 3. And then the Titans will move down to 5. And then I could see, like I said, the Bengals still taking it, the Chargers taking it. I feel like the Bills could fall out and the Ravens could get in. So, because I think the Chargers will still take it. They have the Texans next, which they'll beat them. And then I feel like they could beat the Broncos, but maybe not actually flip it. They could probably beat the Raiders, but not the Broncos, because the Broncos defense is a little bit better. So I still see the Chargers getting in. Like I said, the only thing is I see the Titans and Colts flipping, and then I see the Ravens getting in instead of the Bills.
Just to kind of add on your Colts thing real quick. Colts, what's weird is they like traded places with Tennessee. Derrick Henry goes out. Tennessee sucks. Jonathan Taylor steps up, and the Colts are phenomenal.
Yeah, that's true. They basically both relied on great running games. So That is correct. I like that. I'm glad you pointed that out. So now on to the NFC. So as of right now, the Packers have the number 1 seed at 11-3. The Cowboys number 2 at 10-4. The Bucks at number 3 at 10-4. The Cardinals number 4 at 10-4. The Rams at 5 at 10-4. The Niners 6 at 8-6. The Vikings at 7 at 7-7. And then on the outside looking in is the Eagles at 7-7, Saints 7-7, Washington football team 6-8, Falcons 6-8, the Panthers 5-9, Seahawks 5-9. But mostly it's probably those
And
top.
the Giants. The Giants have as well.
Giants are 4-10. I wasn't really
In
going
the hunt, though.
They've been eliminated?
No, they're in the hunt. They're in the bubble.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're in the hunt, but I don't really consider them in the hunt.
Well, I mean, if they win out, it could be like the wild card losing record that won the Super Bowl against Brady.
Yeah, true. But
Eli Manning comes out of retirement.
I don't see that happening. But let's start off with Chris on this one. Then same thing. Teams you see getting in that are on the outside, or teams trading positions. I guess I should have asked you guys for the AFC if you think the Chiefs will still take the number 1. I did forget to ask that.
Yeah, they will.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Okay. All right. And then
Fuck the Queefs.
and then NFC. So who do you see getting in or switching places, standing wise?
I really thought that with the Rams and Cardinals tied, I thought the Rams owned the tiebreaker, but I guess not.
No.
I don't see the Cardinals winning another game.
Wow.
So I think the Rams and Cardinals are going to switch.
Uh-huh.
And I think the Rams actually jump up to the number 2 seed.
Oh, all right.
Cowboys are going to drop to the number 4 seed. As far as the wild card goes, who all's there? It's the Rams.
Oh, there's a lot. Rams, Niners, Vikings, Eagles, Saints.
Who's the wild card right now? If the playoff card right now.
Right now, the wild card is Rams, Niners, Vikings.
Yes.
Okay. I see the Vikings dropping out. And maybe the Eagles stepping in. Like, the Eagles have been on a tear. They've been doing really well. They've won 4 out of the last 5. They stomped the ever living crap out of Washington, which nobody expected. Like, I mean, I think you picked them as your upset, Matt.
No, I wanted to, but then I was like,
oh, we talked you out of it.
Yeah, I was like, so I went with the Washington football team because I thought Heineke was playing. I didn't know he was going to be out, or I would have picked the Eagles.
Yeah, but I think the Eagles. I think their offense is pretty good, especially with Devonta Smith. Jalen Reagor hasn't done crap, which last year I picked him to be I picked him for Rookie of the Year, dude. And the second week he goes out injured for the whole year. I'm like, that was amazing. But yeah, he hasn't done anything. But Devonta Smith has really stepped up. Dallas Goedert stepped up. Miles Sanders is back. They're actually Jalen Hurts is looking decent. He's not amazing. He's not an elite quarterback, but he looks decent. He looks like he can control the game pretty well. But I could see them jumping in and the Vikings falling out. As long as Garoppolo stays healthy, the 49ers are in. And I think the Cardinals will take the number 5 spot or number 6 spot.
Fair enough, Larry.
But I think the Rams are going to win the division.
Nice. And you think the Packers will stay number 1?
Yeah, I do.
All right, Larry.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams play the Viking next. So, I mean, who knows what you're going to get out of that Viking squad. But the Rams should take that. The Cardinals play the Colts. So I'm not saying they might not win another game, but they're probably not going to win this game. I think there's really nobody really looking in, I think, for wild cards. I mean, I could see the Eagles. I could even see the Saints. I mean, the Saints play the Dolphins this week. Who knows? They could be on this tear of great defense and destroy, and keep the Dolphins low and win it. But I don't really see any of the other teams. Maybe the Vikings fall out and Eagles come in. I mean, it's pretty much all you're really getting out of that. The Eagles do have a division game against the Giants this week, so that you never know how those games are going to work out. Yeah,
you don't see any other teams like switching like number wise though.
Yeah, so I think Dallas falls down. I think the Rams go to probably number 3. The Bucks go to 2. Arizona probably goes to 5 or 6. And I think the Niners are gonna finish 5th, and I'll say the Cardinals probably finish 6th.
Alrighty, fair enough. Yeah, I agree, because if the Vikings lose to the Rams, then that's going to help the Eagles, because the Eagles are playing the Giants, so they would be able to move up. And the Eagles, the rest of their schedule, I think, is just division matchups. Like, I think they go against the Cowboys after that, and then maybe the Washington football team again. I can't remember. But the Eagles have a little bit of an easier time, I feel like, than the Vikings do. So yeah, that's the only teams I really see that would switch. And then depending on the Cardinals, I feel like the Niners could almost go over the Cardinals and be 5, and then the Cardinals would be 6. Rams, like I said, I could see them maybe being number 3, and then the Bucks taking number 2, like you said. And I feel like the Packers kind of control their own destiny, and I feel like they have an easy time being able to take the number 1 seed. So I feel like they'll keep it, which would suck, because if the Rams, have to play them again like they did last year, it would be in Green Bay again, which I hate. Like, I wish we could play in LA. That would make things so much easier.
Yeah, but you got Matt Ryan, or you got Stafford at quarterback, and that's the big difference between this team with the Packers this year.
Yeah.
And you don't have Todd Gurley hurt.
Yeah, that's very, very true as well. So, alrighty, well, with that then, that wraps up the playoff picture and kind of how we see it playing out. So the last 2 things that we need to do is just our top 5, bottom 5, and then our picks of the week. So with that, we'll start off with our bottom 5 here. And as host, I usually pick someone to go first, but I'll actually start us off this time, because I usually don't get to start off. So number 5, the worst team in the NFL. I don't even know if I can really put them as the worst team in the NFL anymore. I mean, yeah, they still have the worst record, but I mean, they just beat the best team.
They don't have the worst record anymore. They are not the number 1 pick anymore.
The Jaguars.
The Jaguars. Oh, yeah. Well, they still have the same amount of wins as the Jaguars, but
they have the tie.
They have the tie.
Takes them out of the first round, the number 1 pick.
Yeah. So I'm going to put Jacksonville as number 5. Lions fans, you can celebrate like you won the Super Bowl. You're not the worst team in the league anymore. So Jacksonville is the worst at number 5. Number 4, I'll put the Lions. And then number 3, I'll put the Texans. Number 2, probably put the Bears, because they've been looking just god awful, and they're officially eliminated as well. And then the Jets. I'll finish it off with the Jets after that. So basically, every team that's like been eliminated so far. Let's go with Chris now.
Worst team, Jaguars. You get the number 1 pick and you still can't win games. Like, that's bad. That's bad. Terrible. Number 4, I'm going to put the Lions, just because they, I don't know. I kind of want to put them higher, just because they beat Arizona with Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. Like, they beat them. Like, holy crap.
Dion didn't play that game.
I thought he did play.
He
No,
did.
he's
He
out for
got
the season.
injured midway through.
Oh, he got injured like right before halftime. Yeah.
Against Detroit?
Yeah.
He didn't play again. He didn't play in that game at all.
Oh.
No, he's
I
out
I
for the
thought he
season.
did.
Nope, he was
Oh.
on my bench. Yes.
Number 3, I'm going to put the Texans. Like, the only reason is they've won 3 games, but I think they're probably pretty close to the worst damn team in the NFL. Number 4, number 2, whatever you want to call it, the Jets. And then I'm going to keep the Seahawks there. I know at the number 5 worst team or whatever. I could put the Bears or the Giants, but the Seahawks are a much better team than a 5-9 team. Like they should be. The way they've played this year is an absolute atrocity. Like the Seahawks were favorites to win the division this year and favorites to go to the Super Bowl this year. And they're 5-9. Like they have played like garbage. So yeah, I'm going to put them in the bottom 5.
All right, Larry.
Oh, yeah. The Jaguars are my worst team. Then the Texans at 4. The Lions, just because of, you beat arguably the best team in the NFL. So you're going to be number 3. I agree with the Seattle, just because it's, when have we ever seen Russ play like this? He's never had a losing season in his career. It's their first losing
Until this season.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna put the Jets in there.
Awesome. I like it. All right. Top 5 best teams. So we ended with Larry, so we'll start with Larry.
I'm gonna put as my number 1 team in the NFL, and I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this, but it's the Patriots. I'm really digging this Mac Jones kid, and I feel the way they've been playing has been very good football. They've been playing good on all sides of the ball. So I'm gonna stick with the Patriots. My number 1. My number 2 is gonna be the Colts. 3 is definitely the Rams.
Yay.
4 is the Chiefs, and 5 is the Packers.
Wow, the Packers all the way at 5?
Yeah, because I'm real mad. I'm real mad at Aaron Rodgers right now. So
You gotta put personal feelings aside, Larry. Come on now.
nah, dude. Nope. No, I don't. Not this week.
Oh gosh. All right, Chris, your top 5.
Number 5, gotta be the Bucks.
The Packers.
The Bucks. With their loss to the Saints, like it wasn't a terrible, embarrassing loss. The problem was too many people got hurt, and Tom Brady had no one to throw to.
And Tom Brady
Right.
going over to the sideline saying, "Go F yourself" to the Saints
look familiar?
coach.
To Sean McVay or whatever.
No,
No, it was a
Saints-
defensive coach, wasn't it?
The defensive coach, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he got sacked like 6 times that game.
Broke his tablet.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do.
But hey, if Odell Beckham does that, then he's a drama queen. But Tom Brady does it. It's just I'm being passionate. Yeah.
we talk about this every week. It's only because Giselle's his wife. You can't be like, Tom, you're a drama queen, because Giselle smacked the shit out of him, man. You can't do that.
So yeah, number 5, the Bucks. Number 4, I'm gonna put the Patriots. They're looking good. Number 3, the Rams. Number 2, the Chiefs, because they're pretty damn scary. They were last place 6 weeks ago. Last freaking place, and now look at them. Number 1 in the freaking division, like in the entire conference. And then number 1, I'm putting the Packers. They're the team to beat this year. Let's see if they can actually get past the NFC Championship. It's funny because I got in an argument with somebody a I'm on a couple Raiders pages and shit, and I got in an argument with somebody. They were talking about how shitty Derek Carr was and everything, and how he's never won a Super Bowl, and he's never done anything for the team. I'm like, the dude throws for 4,000 yards. The dude has a 70% lifetime completion percentage. He's thrown more touchdowns than interceptions. Like, yeah, he's lost games, but look at our defense. Throughout his entire career, we've had 1 year that we had a top 15 defense, and they were 15th. Like, every year, Derek Carr gives up, or the Raiders defense gives up 30 yards or 30 points a game. That's impossible to overcome. On top of having 5 head coaches in 8 years. That's terrible. He's had to learn all this shit on the fly. He's had a rotating wide receiver core. And so the argument I got into, this guy was like, well, we need to get Aaron Rodgers in free agency. And I was like, why? Well, he's an amazing quarterback. He's taken an amazing team to the Super Bowl 1 time in his 13 years as a starter. 1 time. Derek Carr's played for 8 years. You haven't even given him a chance. Like, bullshit.
So the thing is Derek Carr, Alex Smith. That's what you're
Pretty much. Derek Carr he's a good quarterback. I wouldn't put him in the elite echelon, but you put him on a team with a strong defense, like put him on the Bucks. They're going to the Super Bowl. Derek Carr's a damn good quarterback. Like, probably the best quarterback that we've had since
Rich Gannon.
No, fuck Rich Gannon. He has better stats than Rich Gannon.
Oh, come on.
Like, Rich Gannon was shit before he got to the Raiders.
Yes.
Never did anything. Played 2 good seasons with the Raiders, and then had 3 seasons after that was just garbage. Absolute garbage.
It's all because Tom Brady cheated.
Yeah, that screwed us. The tough rule. Fuck that guy. But no, honestly, like, we haven't had a good quarterback since George Blanda in the 80s. Like, that's the last good quarterback we had. He wasn't even that good. He just had Marcus Allen, and then he had James Jett. Huh?
You went all the way back to George Blanda.
Yeah, that's the last time the Raiders actually had a good quarterback. A damn good quarterback. Rich Gannon was not good. Rich Gannon had a couple good years in his entire career.
Yes.
And 2002, Rich Gannon, his MVP year, the year he won the MVP and went to the Super Bowl and lost, his stats were lower than Derek Carr's this year.
Sounds like that happens to you guys a lot.
Yeah. Way too much. Our defense sucks.
Out there.
We need Patrick Surtain. Come over to the Raiders, buddy.
Gosh. Oh, my days.
But anyway, yeah, there's my top 5.
Number 1 in a very long-winded way.
Yes. Because it's not Aaron Rodgers, it's the whole team. Aaron Rodgers is an amazing guy, but he can't lead to the promised land. There you go.
There you go. Well,
we'll see when it comes to Denver.
Number 5 for me, which interesting because neither of you guys had the Cardinals in there anymore, so they both got both of you.
Dude, they lost to the Lions. They lost to the Lions. You can't put them in the top 5 anymore.
So number 5, I'm gonna put number 5. I'll put the Patriots. I think the way that they've been playing in their defense. I called that the Colts would beat them, but again, once you play again in the playoffs, it's hard to beat the same team again. So we'll see. And then number 4, I'm going to put the Bucks. I think the Bucks, even though they lost to the Saints, they had this MO. Brady gets like pissy and whines and bitches and moans, about how the game was played, and then he goes out and will probably throw like 6 touchdowns in the next game. So, he always finds a way to come back the next game. Number 3, I'm going to put the Rams. I feel like we're getting some momentum again. Hopefully we can continue that to be able to take at least the division. I know we won't be able to take the number 1 seed away from the Packers, but at least be nice to win the division and have a home game for the playoffs. And then maybe in the future, a home game for the Super Bowl, but that's way in the future. And then number 2 is the Chiefs, just because they're first in their division or their conference. And then number 1, the Packers. I know a lot of people probably think it's going to be Packers Chiefs the way it's looking right now in the Super Bowl. So we'll see how things play out. But yeah, as of right now, the Packers, like Chris said, is the team to beat, and they're looking like they got the easy road going to the number 1 seed. So, all right.
I just want to comment on one of your things about Tom Brady throwing a hissy fit and then coming out and having a great game. I mean, part of that is a little on the refs.
It's Giselle, guys.
It's jizz of the refs, not Giselle.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you. Here's a real question I do have for you guys. Who in the NFC can beat the Chiefs?
The Packers. I think they're only the team that can.
You really think the Packers could beat the Chiefs? Like you really believe that?
I think if Jair Alexander is healthy, yes. If Jair Alexander is not healthy, no. Because he's the only one that could stop Tyreek Hill.
I think the Rams could maybe put up a fight. I think Cooper Kupp could shred that defense just like he has with all the other ones. So I think he'd be able to put up some good numbers against them. And then Jalen can cover whoever they want to cover when it comes to the Chiefs. So
the problem with the Rams is you don't have a strong enough linebacker to be able to cover Travis Kelce.
Oh, last time they put Jalen on him and they stopped him the whole night. So
yeah, but who stopped Tyreek Hill?
Somebody else, basically. I know Fuller usually does a really good job, or Williams.
If you're talking about the game where they both put up fucking 50-plus points, that's a big thing with the Chiefs, even what they're playing right now, is their defense. They've been playing defense with two of their best starters. Their two stars on defense are out, and they're still playing well. You're going to have to get into a shootout. But that Rams game you're talking about was a great game. There was, 6 or 7 total turnovers between each team, and they still put up over 50 points. Like, Goff threw for 500. Mahomes was 500. It's a great game. I just don't think that there's a strong enough team on defense to be able to slow down the Chiefs. And vice versa with the NFCs. I don't think there's a team in the NFC that has a defense that could slow. Their defenses can't slow each other down. And the Rams might have the better shot at beating them because of their front 4 on defense. And you have Jalen, who could, probably is going to be on Tyreek. You run a nickel package, and you have your nickel corner on Travis Kelce. But I don't think that there's going to be a lot of defense in the Super Bowl that's coming up. I think it's going to be a lot of offense, especially if it's the Chiefs and the Packers. And I don't know if this is just me when it comes to game planning for teams, but teams like Seattle and the Packers, I don't understand how they win games. Aaron Rodgers throws the ball 20 yards down the field like every pass attempt. The deep ball's coming on every pass, on every play. Why aren't you doing anything to slow that? Like, it just baffles me on how they do it. Like, Russell Wilson just throws these bombs 80 yards down the field and he has a guy wide open. Like, that's what he does all game long. How are you not stopping that? Just makes no sense to me.
The Rams do. They sack him like 8 times.
Yeah. The Rams played well, but that's the first time in a minute that you've seen a team be able to just shut down the deep ball on every pass play. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, true. So it'll be interesting to see once the playoffs start, what defenses show up, or if it's just going to be a lot of, offense this coming playoffs, for all teams, so it'll be interesting. The only one I can really think of that's like dominant defense right now is the Patriots, to be honest. It's like the only team I really think of that's like solid defense, like you're going to have a hard time scoring on them.
Them and the Colts.
The Colts. Well, Colts, it's a lot of turnovers. Like they have, I think, the highest turnover in the NFL right now. I think they have like 29 or something like that, 29, 30 turnovers. Something insane. It's like every time Denarius Leonard like makes a tackle, he's just doing the punch and just like causing a fumble every single time. So yeah, it like I said, it'll be interesting to see which defenses show up once the playoffs actually start, or if it's going to be a lot of offense. So let's what was I gonna say? Oh, the ref thing, because we were mentioning about the refs before you asked that question. It was kind of funny when I was watching the Rams Seahawks game. The first penalty flag that was thrown, the announcer, and I'm not even exaggerating, he said this word for word. This referee crew is the highest rated penalty crew in the NFL. They throw the most flags. And then right after he said, "I'm sorry." He apologized to the audience because the ref crew for that game is the highest penalized ref crew. They throw the most flags. I was just like, I can't believe he apologized for that. And the game hadn't even started.
Do the Rams win that game? That was pass interference. And the Rams have gotten away with it twice now. And do the Rams win that game if they call PI?
I mean, I think they still could, obviously. Like, it's not like it was gonna make it where it was like first and goal. They still had a ways to go.
And they were up Russell Wilson's ass that entire game.
They were, but that's a huge momentum swing, especially when you're not really marching down the field, but you're moving the ball. And then you have this fourth down play where you would have got 15 plus yards. You're in positive territory. A lot of things change for teams when you're in positive territory.
Yeah, and we could have gotten the ball back and driven down the field and kicked a field goal. So it's like you never know, like what could have happened.
I'm not going to say that call changed the game, but it definitely changed the game. Is point outcome at least.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And I'm not even going to argue that was definitely pass interference. I mean, the Rams got lucky with that. But I just thought it was funny that the announcer said that at the beginning before it even started. But with our picks of the week, let's do our normal intro. So here comes NFL picks of the week. 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 So there's someone that's now in the lead with picks. I'm not gonna mention any names. Yeah, right here for you. I don't know. It's weird. I'm up by 1 now. Odd. Now I'm in the lead. So
I wish I had my Tide detergent so I can spin it and show you that the tides have turned. You're welcome to use that on your kids anytime. Go to the store, just grab it, flip it, say the tides are turning.
There you go. Exactly. I love it. So I'm now up by 1. I think Larry was 25-7, 24-7.
24-7, yeah.
24-7, yeah. So didn't have that one miss like he did the previous week, but let's get into this week and see what matchups we have here. And then Chris is not gonna hold up the things for us this time, which is fine. It's no worries. We don't need it.
I didn't get them sorted. Sorry.
It's all good. So let's start off with Thursday Night Football, which is the 8-6 49ers versus the 9-5 Titans. And with Chris being behind by 1, you get to start us off.
Upset alert.
Upset alert! No, you really doing it again for your first pick?
I'm taking the Niners, dude.
Upset alert!
I'm taking the Niners. Like, the Titans are on a free fall, and I think the Niners are on a tear. They're getting healthy where they need to. We talked earlier about Jimmy Garoppolo being healthy and how he can lead the 49ers. I think it's the 49ers defense. Like, if their defense is healthy, They are one of the scariest damn teams in the NFL because
That
their
running the
defense is
ball.
fast. Well, their defense is fast. Their defense is strong, and they get work. Like they make teams work, and I don't think the Titans have an answer for him. I could see Ryan Tannehill throwing another 3 picks.
All
Like
right.
I really do. So yeah, 49ers for the upset.
I like it. I'm going 49ers as well. I like all the stuff that you said, man. I agree. It was kind of again, we've said this almost every week, or at least I have, I guess. I'm a broken record. But if they had Derrick Henry, it'd be a different story. It'd be a
Exactly.
lot closer. But I'm
And
going with the Niners.
if Derrick Henry would stay healthy, I'd probably be undefeated in the fantasy league. Because I had
That's
to put him
true.
on the IR like the week after he went on IR. I lost 4 games in a row. I was like trying to figure out a running back to throw in there, and yeah, garbage. Thanks a lot, Derrick Henry.
All right, Larry. Niners, Titans.
Oh, the Niners.
Niners. All right.
I would honestly be surprised if the Titans win this game. I think the Titans season's over. Ryan Tannehill, he's been getting a lot of praise. I mean, last year he was like, "Oh, Ryan Tannehill's balling out. He's playing good football." I mean, shit. You put any one of us at quarterback position, and I can hand the ball off to Derrick Henry 25 times a game, throw the ball 14 times. Yeah, I could look really fucking good too. And I'm sorry for the language, but like that's just what irritates me. Is Ryan Tannehill was decent in Miami. He's been decent in Tennessee. It showed how much of a QB1 he is not, simply because of if you get rid of the number 1 league rusher and you can't still win games, you're not throwing touchdowns, you're not able to move the ball.
And to top it off, you have AJ Brown and Julio Jones, like 2 of the best receivers in the league.
Yeah.
Nope, I agree with that. All right. Saturday, we have a doubleheader on Christmas. So Merry Christmas to us. We get to watch some football. The first game is the 7-7 Browns versus the 11-3 Packers. So Larry.
I'm going to take the Browns. Fuck Aaron. No, I'm just kidding. The Packers.
I was like, wait, are you serious?
The Packers.
I was like, damn, man, you better be putting that as an upset if you're going to do that. I mean, holy
Especially
hell.
since Myles Garrett is out now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
he got injured.
Oh, gosh. Well,
Jack McKinley got injured.
Yeah, I hate how much they're praising Myles Garrett. I mean, yeah, he's doing great as a defensive player, but I can't get over the helmet thing. I'm sorry. Like,
I mean, Mason Rudolph is a bitch, but still, like, dude, you don't take a dude's helmet off and hit him with it. Like, he should not even be in the league. I'm sorry. Should not be in the league. He should have been just kicked out of the league after that happened. Like, that's the most unsportsmanlike thing you could ever do.
Shouldn't have been talking shit.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, look, I agree he should not have hit him in the head, but it's funny because you're going to talk crap to the guy who's been on your ass all night long, and then you try to square up with the dude who's twice your size. You deserve to get hit with your own helmet. At the end of the day, you were talking, so you're running your mouth, you got hit. It is what it is. He got his suspension. If you want to kick him out of the league, I get that. I see why. But we have people who are still playing in the league that should not be allowed to be playing in the league.
Oh no,
Josh Gordon,
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
woman beater.
Yeah,
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't really know if Adrian Peterson did anything bad. He spanked his kid, so
with a switch.
Yeah,
like we all got hit with switches.
Yeah,
I don't know. If
you picked one that was too small. You got hit.
Those hurt worse.
Yeah. The good old days when you could beat your children, right?
Well, transitioning into that, I'm going to pick the Packers.
I'm going to stick with what was my winning recipe that I backed away from and let you catch up. and I'm going to lock this in
Oh my
as
God,
the
your
Packers.
First two picks.
Hey,
Lock
that
it
has been a winning recipe for me all year. I stepped away from it, and you caught up.
This is
Has
true.
it not been?
This is true. Oh my days! All right, the second Saturday game, the 8-6 Colts versus the 10-4 Cardinals. All right, Chris,
Colts.
going with the Colts.
Dude, if the Cardinals can't beat the Lions, they're not going to beat the Colts. The Colts are a much better defense.
I'm going with the upset alert. Upset alert.
Oh, what's funny is it was Larry's pick.
About this pick. I'm taking the Colts.
It was Larry's pick.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, because you haven't gone last yet.
Well, 3-person rotation, terrible. But if Larry wants it as his upset pick, he can most definitely have it.
No, it's all yours, buddy.
There you go. Who are you picking, Larry?
Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, taking the Cardinals. All right. Going against us. I like it.
They're going to get back on track this game. They're going to win. I know I said earlier that they wouldn't, but I'm just going to go against you guys on this one. I think Arizona's going to play a better game, and I think they understand of the standings of the playoffs. That's what's happening, their implications. So I think they come out in this game.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think the Cardinals lost their identity when Hopkins went down. And ever since Murray's injury, he hasn't been the same either. He just isn't able to move around as well as he was before. Alrighty. The Sunday game, the first one I have lined up, is my 10-4 Rams versus the 7-7 Vikings. So
You pick first, Matt.
I get to pick first, I guess, since I was supposed to go last for that one. My bad. But going with my Rams as per usual, and hopefully they can keep the momentum going that they got right now.
I'll go Rams as well.
Yep, Rams.
All in on the same. All right. This is not going in order by time, so don't get upset at me. It's just going in order by what they're showing me. So the 7-6 Steelers versus the 10-4 Chiefs.
Larry's pick.
Yeah, the Chiefs. You said they're playing the Steelers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, the Chiefs.
I like it. Who's next?
You.
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
All picking the same teams. Both.
I mean, you
both
want to pick
in
the
a row.
Steelers because
I
they're
didn't.
in that spot as well. But they're not playing good enough to stop the Chiefs.
They also couldn't beat the Lions.
Yes.
Speaking of which, next game lined up is the 2-11-1 Lions versus the 6-8 Falcons.
You know, if the Lions can beat the Cardinals, they could potentially beat the Falcons. The Falcons aren't that good of a team. But yeah, I just can't take the Lions. Sorry.
Going with the
Yeah.
Falcons. Larry's pick now.
Falcons.
I'm going to take Detroit.
Oh,
What? Are you going to take it as your upset?
Yeah.
Oh,
Upset, lock it in, whatever you got to do. Yeah. Detroit's winning this game. Detroit's winning the game in Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah.
Been in a lot of close games this year, man. I think they're not too far off from being the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings have had 8 games this year have been decided by 8 points or less. In half their season, they've had 1-score games. Same with Detroit. Their records are flipped. Detroit's figuring out how to lose the game. Minnesota's figuring out how to win the game.
Fair enough. I'm going with the Falcons as well. Unfortunately, can't go with the Lions. All right. Next matchup is the 8-6 Ravens versus the 8-6 Bengals, which is a crucial game for that division. Is it me starting off?
Yep.
I'm sticking with my Bengals. I can't go away from what I said, and I said that they were gonna sneak up and take the division away from them. So sticking with them.
You know, I would say it depends on who's playing quarterback for the Ravens, but dude, Tyler Huntley gave the Packers a run for their money.
Yeah.
Like, they barely lost. And this is the second time that they've lost a game where they went for a 2-point conversion to win and lost.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. The Ravens are tough because they should be better than they are. But I think even if Tyler Huntley plays, it's going to be a tight. It's going to be a tight game. But I think the Bengals are still going to win it.
The Ravens are going to win.
Going against us. Larry likes to go against us.
I like Joe Burrow. I like Cincinnati. I like what they're doing. Joe Mixon going down changes a lot about that offense. Kareem has a shot at coming in and taking up and stepping up a bigger role. But the Ravens have, I think, the more complete team on offense and defense. And it's gone to show that John Harbaugh. Is it John Harbaugh? I mean,
Yeah.
He
No.
was able to take your second string quarterback and throw him into a game against the best team in the NFL right now, and you went touchdown for touchdown with Aaron Rodgers, and you did what John's figured out how to coach this offense and it doesn't matter who's quarterback, and I just think the Ravens are a more complete team.
Even without Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters, like who do they have that's going to stop Jamar Chase?
Dude, you know what? If there's a will, there's a way.
That is very true.
Ray Lewis comes out of retirement. I don't know.
I just see Jamar Chase going off for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game, dude, because they don't have anybody to stop him.
96 yards, 1 touchdown. It's going to happen. Or he's
201 and 2.
Or 203.
Alrighty, next matchup is the 8-6 Bills versus the 9-5 Patriots. So the rematch of the 2-pass game. So over under that the Patriots throw more than 2 passes this time.
Is that really the over under?
No, I'm just saying.
It'd be hilarious if it was, though.
I would totally bet the over.
Really tough. That was weird.
Are we all good?
Our connections were kind of breaking up a little bit there.
Yeah, we all lost it for like half a second, but it's so good.
The Bills team, you don't know what Bills team you're going to get. I mean, especially this year, they're having a crisis, and I don't know what's happening. The Patriots look really good. I think the Patriots win this game again. Are they playing Foxborough this week too?
Yeah, it's in Gillette Stadium. So who's next? Me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going with the Pats as well. I think they got the recipe, and the Bills, they've never really had any momentum this year. I feel like it's always just been up and down. So last year they had all the momentum in the world. This year it's just up and down. So I'm going with the Pats.
Is it a snow game?
Oh, I don't know.
Does that change your answer?
Right now it says 39 and sunny.
It'll be 39 and sunny. Yeah, I'll take the Patriots.
Everyone going with the Pats. All
You would
right.
take the Bills if it was a snow game?
Yep.
You remember what happened last time?
Yeah, but that was a freaking crazy. That was wind, dude. That wasn't snow.
Yeah, fair enough.
Josh Allen plays really well in Gillette Stadium when there's snow.
Yeah. All right. Well, next matchup, very scintillating game. I'm sure you guys are going to be watching this one on Sunday for sure.
Jets
The
and
two,
Texans.
the 2-12 Jaguars versus the 3-11 Jets.
Oh God. And I go first on this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the Jaguars get it done and
Going Jets.
lose the number 1 seed or number 1 draft pick.
Who's next?
Larry.
Larry.
Jets, Jags. The Jaguars win this game.
I'm gonna go against you guys and go with the Jets. Might as well.
One more point that I can go up on you.
They would be
Oh,
tied.
tie. Oh, there's a tie.
A tie, yeah.
I'm gonna go through all my pickups and I'll send you what I'm at for the year.
You said that last week. We still haven't got that shit.
That is true. You did say that last week.
I got a life. It's good. I got kids, dude. My kids have been home for the last week and a half.
Next matchup, the 4-10 Giants versus the 7-7 Eagles. So I got to start with this one. I'm going to say the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
I won't say that shit, but Eagles.
The Eagles.
Oh, unanimous. Everyone going with the Eagles. All right.
So you both have your lock still, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The next matchup, 10-4 Bucks versus the 5-9 Panthers.
Larry starts.
No raw.
Buccaneers on a lock.
He's gonna lock it in. Guarantee win. All right, my go.
Yep.
Yeah, Bucks.
Bucks.
Unanimous again. All right.
That's the problem we get this late in the season. It's hard to actually make up points because you know what teams are good and what ones aren't.
This is true. All right. Next matchup, the 8-6 Chargers versus the 3-11 Texans.
Go Texans.
Go Texans. But I don't think they could beat the Chargers, so I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
Chargers.
Larry.
He went with Chargers too?
Yep.
Yep, I'm going to lock that in as the Chargers. Going to lock it up. They get it done easy peasy.
Now I'm
Lemon
double rooting for the
squeezy.
Texans. I don't care. I'll take that loss.
Right? Yeah.
Double rooting for the Texans. Let's go, Tyrod
My
Taylor.
second favorite team, dude.
Beat
right.
the team that punctured your lung.
It's a good revenge game. Next matchup, the 4-10 Bears versus the 5-9 Seahawks.
It's you, Matt.
Oh boy, this is such an awesome game. Seahawks are looking so bad, but so are the Bears. I'll go with Seahawks.
Is Khalil Mack playing?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't know.
I know he's been out off and on all season. Let's find out.
Is that going to determine your pick, Larry?
No, Seahawks.
Okay, so we're both going Seahawks then.
Yeah, I'll go with the Seahawks. Max out.
He's going with Seahawks as well. All right, unanimous.
So technically, Larry was last on that pick, so he gets to go first.
No worries. Next matchup, the 7-7 Broncos versus the 7-7 Raiders. Wonder who Larry's gonna pick.
The Raiders. No, I think the Broncos win this game, and I think it's because of who's at quarterback. There's a huge difference between Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. Lock takes a lot of risk when he plays the game, and it either wins or it loses. And that's he's not afraid to go deep. He's not afraid to get the 50-50 balls. I think Drew Lock is the game changer in this one. And I think down to a Brandon McManus field goal.
All right, who's next?
You.
Me. I'm gonna go with the Broncos as well. I think it'd be a good defensive game for the Broncos.
Okay. So the Raiders defense hasn't done shit all year, but you realize when they played the Browns with Nick Chubb, the Browns did not even see the Raiders side of the field until midway through the second quarter. And they held Nick Chubb to 74 yards. Their defense finally stepped up. Finally. Took them long enough. Granted, everybody was like, well, they're without so many people. Like the Browns were without so many people. Raiders were too. So it is what it is. Nah, I think it's going to be a Daniel Carlson field goal that wins in overtime.
Jonathan Abrams isn't playing, though, so keep that in mind.
Who, what?
Jonathan Abrams is done. He's getting surgery.
Yeah, he's done for the season. But that's okay. We've got Roderick Teamer coming in, who's actually pretty damn good. He's pretty solid, strong safety. So he doesn't hit like Abrams, but he's better coverage. So that's kind of something that I'm looking forward to.
Javonte Williams is going to eat.
I think Tim Patrick's going to eat. I really, really do. Tim Patrick's going to have a huge game, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Derek Carr's playing with a little more fire now. He's pissed off. We need to get Deshaun Jackson more involved. The O-line actually stepped up a little bit against the Browns and Myles Garrett. Like, they were able to hold Myles Garrett back a bit. He did get a sack and hurt freaking Carr. But we're also, like, we're starting to play some getting some Mariota on the read options in there, man. So that's looking good. So yeah, I'm taking the Raiders. You guys take them donkeys. I don't give a shit. Raiders for life. RN for L, bro.
Oh man! All right, Sunday night football.
That is gorgeous, though. I'll give you.
Yeah, a buddy of mine made this. Fucking
That is gorgeous
for me out of aluminium. Shit's fucking. It's so sharp, dude.
Aluminium?
Yeah, aluminium.
You mean aluminum?
No, I mean aluminium. Don't try to American the rest of the world, okay?
Nice little science lesson there for 2 seconds. So the Sunday night football game is the 6-8 Washington football team versus the 10-4 Cowboys, who recently literally just played each other 2 games ago. So let's see. Chris starts with this one.
Did Washington beat the Cowboys? I don't remember.
No, Cowboys snuck it out and won by a touchdown.
And I think Heineke's out again this week. I'm going to go with the Cowboys on it.
My pick?
Larry's.
Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going with the Cowboys as well. They got the momentum right now. And that defense is playing uber good. And then the Monday night football game is the 7-7 Dolphins versus the 7-7 Saints, which also will have big playoff implications as of right now for keeping both of them in the hunt for it. So me, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one's actually kind of hard for me because I don't know what Saints we're gonna get. If they play defense like they did against the Bucks, then damn, like yeah, they could definitely take the game. But Dolphins have been looking good too. They didn't play the greatest game against the Jets. I'll go with the Saints just because they're gonna be riding the high of beating Tom, so they'll at least have have that same hype and energy for at least one more game in them.
I think Marshawn Lattimore is going to shut down Devontae, whatever the hell his name
Parker.
is. Yeah, Devontae Parker. It's going to open up Jalen Waddle a lot, who really hasn't done much this year at all. The difference between Tom Brady and the Dolphins is mobile quarterback. Tom Brady is not a mobile quarterback. Tua will get away from the sack. He gets away from pressure really, really well. But I could see Jalen Waddle having a big game. And I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Yeah, you made it really, the Dolphins, mainly because Chris pointed out everything that's happening. Big difference is the quarterback situation. Is I think Taysom Hill is a phenomenal football player. Quarterbacking, that's where Tua can scramble and make the throws, and I think that's what it comes down to.
Fair enough. So you guys going against me on that one, so that could help extend my lead that I have right now.
No, it's going to help me take over the lead. I got this.
It's going to give me one game closer to my comeback. Greatest upset in Sports Harder podcast history.
You're what, 13 week behind comeback?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, those are our picks of the week. We had a very NFL-centered podcast this week, but sometimes it's like that, especially getting close to the playoffs and being able to talk fantasy football playoffs as well. So I'm glad we got to get everything in that we wanted to talk about. Like I said, once football season's done, then some of the other sports will start getting closer to playoffs for them and stuff like that. So it'll be a lot more interesting and a lot more fun to talk about. And then doing like March Madness basketball. But also coming up here soon at the end of the month is the college football playoffs, which we'll be able to talk about that more as well once those games are played. So a lot more other stuff to talk about, but we're just waiting for those games to actually be played.
Big game tonight. Army beat Missouri with a walk-off field goal. Like, Army freaking beat Missouri. Like, that's awesome.
There you go. So awesome. Well, as always, we appreciate the listens and the views. You can catch us on our Facebook page, Sports Harder Podcast. You can listen to us on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, any basically listening media that does podcasts. Our podcast will be distributed there, so definitely go and take a listen. We've been with Anchor for a long time now, so just shout out to Anchor and have doing our podcast for this long. If you want to start your own podcast, it's really easy to do it on Anchor. Just set it up, record yourself on your phone, and go from there.
I do want to say something really quick, Matt, before we jump off and do the hashtag. I got a notification today on Facebook. 3 years ago tonight was episode 8.
Episode 8, man.
3 years ago. So you've been doing this for a little over 3 years, man.
That is crazy to think that I've been doing it for that long. And NFL, here lately they've been talking about like mental health and different things like that. And I like that they support that and they do that. But not too many people know, other than my close friends, that this podcast was originally started for my mental health and to help me get over a lot of problems in my life that I'm not going to go into. But it really was a great way to get away from the problems that I was having. And my friend Brian, my original co-host, and David, who jumped in later, I owe a lot to them because I didn't want to do it on my own, and they were willing to jump in and help and be hosts. And Chris for taking over once they weren't able to do it anymore. I talked to Chris a bunch of times about saying, well, I might not just do it anymore. I might stop, and he encouraged me to continue to do it and continue to have fun with it. So originally it was to help with my mental health and to help me get over some stuff. And now it's been a lot of fun. I've been able to get over those mental problems and move on from it. So hopefully other people can do that too. Like I said, if you want to start a podcast, just to vent and get stuff off or to get away from what's going on in your life, you can easily do it here on Anchor. Of course, we have YouTube that we're using as well. So just take advantage of it. Let that stuff out. Don't keep it bottled in, because it's going to do more harm than good. Alrighty. Well, awesome. Well, as always, yeah, we finished with our hashtag. Earl Thomas still not signed.
Just retire already.
I think he just thinks that he's retired, but he didn't have to actually make an announcement. I don't even think he knows that he can still be on a team. I don't think he's aware of it.
So next week's subjects, though, I want to talk about greatest quarterback of all time, greatest hockey player of all time, greatest pitcher of all time.
Nolan Ryan, Wayne Gretzky, Joe Montaigne.
Ovechkin will be the greatest hockey player of all time because he will beat Wayne Gretzky's record.
I will say Ovechkin. But
he's a hockey guy.
I'm not really a hockey guy either, but Ovechkin's fun to watch.
And Gretzky did say that Ovi would beat his record. He came out in an interview and said, "I believe that Ovechkin will break my record." So.
Oh, also, just remember Pound Key, ESPN 30 for 30 on the Florida Gators.
Yes, Florida Gators. Wasn't it like the 2004 or 2005 Florida Gators?
Something like that. Either way, it needs to happen.
Yep. They had a murderer, and they had a guy that praised Christ, and
Urban Meyer.
and Urban Meyer.
Got everything you need to know.
The Jaguars' failure.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. All right, awesome. Well, as always, we appreciate you guys, and happy holidays. Be safe. Take safe travels if you have to fly or drive or whatever it may be. Enjoy your family and friends. Enjoy the holidays, and we will catch you guys next week, same time, same place.
Later.
Peace.